This very story is from a pastor. Listen attentively. He says that share my story for me anonymously. I am a pastor. I was ordained 9 years ago. I stayed under my prophet for 4 years before starting my own ministry 5 years ago. It was so hard at the beginning. For almost 2 years, I had less than 30 members. I was struggling. I wanted to give up because even those few members I had were all poor. Majority of them took from me than they gave me. I was better off when I was under my prophet because I realized it was so hard. I never received any proper offering. Meanwhile, I wasn't working too. I dedicated my whole time to the ministry. I was mostly hungry because most times I was broke. I wore the same outfit most of the time. So it was even compelling me to preach about me not wanting to be rich and living a lavish life because I didn't want to be mocked by my members. I was compelled to marry before my ordination, but I didn't really love this lady. So I left her in Accra in the name of I was going to start my own ministry, and I never got in touch again. I would have done that if I had money, but I didn't have any. So I just wore the ring and always told my members that my wife was abroad. I was seeing one young lady from the church who satisfied my emotional needs. I understood that every good thing takes time, and I was waiting for that time, but it just wasn't coming. I had too much on my plate. I was frustrated. So I eventually took the decision to quit the church. I wanted to sell the instruments and run from Kumasi to somewhere else and start all over again. Then I got this idea to go and see one popular man of God here in Kumasi, and I did just that. I told him my story. He told me that was how he started too before making it. So if I really was interested, then I should take his contact and come home. That was how it all started. He took me somewhere. I met a lot of other young and old pastors like myself, and some gospel musicians and other people I didn't even know. We had a meeting with some man. He told the man I wanted to grow my church as well. The man told him to bring me back later on a particular date and time. We went and I was taken somewhere. First, I was made to swear before some altar that whatever happened there remained there, and that if I should tell anybody or try to quit, I would die. Then we went on to see a man. He listened to my intentions and told me to go and start my church. They didn't take anything or make me do anything. They just gave me money and helped me put up a structure. They even gave me a few members to start with, and before I knew it, my church was growing. 6 months later, I was summoned. When I went, they said the souls under my church were demanding blood. I was confused. Then they told me they buried some people under my church to serve as foundation. I didn't believe it, but I was even shown a video. They said if I didn't give them blood, the church would collapse and I will not survive it. So I gave them what they demanded. It was one of my members, a woman. 3 months later, they called again and demanded 2 members, but insisted they had to be from the same family, and I gave them that. Then I myself was invited for a ritual bath, which took me 11 days in an isolated place with dwarfs and some weird looking creatures. I was never the same after that day. I started having some dreams and seeing stuff. They said it was a good thing, that I've had the eye to see beyond the physical, but I didn't like it. It made my life hell and got me scared most of the time. They later said I was facing challenges because I was a twin, and that I could only be free if I brought my twin brother to them. That was when I gave up entirely and decided to go back to serving God faithfully. But living meant death, so I ran to my father. He took me to places, and by God's grace, I am gradually becoming normal again. But chances that I will not live up to the next 2 years is high. So share my story. Somebody may learn from it. Not all these big churches are real. I am a victim and I may die soon. So this is a story from an ex-pastor. Let's hear what you think in the comment section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. This is Loveandpillsgh.